Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. This is Muhammad Yasin live with you on my YouTube channel. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Uh, 90% of the business fails in initial 10 years. This is available in one of the recent research. 90% of the business fails in initial 10 years. And yet people have this mantra of let's start a business, become entrepreneur, become employee become employer from employee. We all heard these kind of mantras from motivational speakers, influential people, and business gurus. So what is actually reality? Whether business is for everyone, what kind of capabilities a person should have to venture into the business, what set of skill set he or she needs, and what are the resources available, and different other questions. We all get answers of all these questions in this live session, live video, and none other than the master himself, one of the top indenter of Pakistan, renowned businessman. Let me introduce Majyd Aziz to you. Assalamu alaikum, Majid Sahab.
Walaikum salam.
So thank you very much for appearing in this live conversation. Before going to Majid Aziz, let me introduce
Majid, I'm sorry, it's
Majid
Majid
Aziz to
Aziz.
all of.
Hello.
So let me introduce Majid Aziz. He
Hello.
is President
Yasi?
UN Global Compact Network Pakistan.
I'm saying my name is Majid Aziz. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah. Now I am hearing you, sir. Could you repeat what you have said?
I said my name is Majid Aziz, not Majid Aziz.
Sorry, sir. Pardon, sir. Majid Aziz.
Thank
All
you.
right. So, Majid Aziz, let me introduce Majid Aziz to you. He is President UN Global Compact Network Pakistan and Global President of Commonwealth Entrepreneurs Club based in UK. He has been President of Employers Federation of Pakistan, Karachi Chamber of Commerce, South Asian Forum of Employers, and he was also former chairman of Site Association of Industries and former member of governing body of ILO. He was board chairman of SME Bank, and he is currently holding a Secretary General position of English Speaking Union of Pakistan, and he is only citizen of different countries, including Austin and USA. He is business person, quite influential in the diplomatic circle, quite active, and he is a thorough gentleman as well as a good leader. So we'll get answer of all these questions that I have raised in my introduction. I'll ask these questions to the master himself, and let's see what he has to share with all of us based on his own experience of, particularly, we talk about in general business, but particularly we'll focus on indenting business. Okay, sir. Thank you very much again, sir.
My pleasure.
Okay. So, sir, first thing first, the basic question, what is actually indenting business?
Well, as you know, for example, if someone in foreign country, for example, or even in the domestic industries or organizations, they want to market the goods, sell the goods, and now it's very difficult for one company, say in USA or Japan or whatever, wherever, to come directly and try to sell and market their product or service. So uh, it is the scenario is that somebody becomes and what is called an indenter. Now the indenter can do two things. One, all he does now today in today's world, he and she, but I just say he, but it should be she also. Uh, we take say the agency of company's product or commodity, and then we use our influence and our marketing infrastructure to sell the goods. Now, this could be anything. For example, with Brazil, we have soybean. Then you can have even defense, or you can have machinery, or you can have some services in today's world. So indenter is an integral part of the supply chain, so to speak. And without indenter, the foreigner will get uh, the foreign indenter will get difficulty in coming and selling it all over Pakistan, for example. So that's where companies like ours come in, and we get the either the agency or the we become the indenters, and then for example, soybean. Let's take a soybean from Brazil or USA. We have our principles. We do deal with them. We say, okay, we will sell over the whole year. We think we know how to do it. Say 20 ships or 30 ships or whatever. Now when I'm saying a shipload, that is approximately 64 to 66,000 tons. Like we are in soybeans, so I'm using that as an example to clarify what I mean. And then what we do is we call up for example, for soybean, we call up the solvent extractor plants, and they will say, okay, we need X number of quantity, we need Y quantity, we need Z quantity, and we accumulate all and we make a shipload. And when the goods come here, ordinarily, and that's where the difference between our company and the others is, that once the goods come at the port, the work of the indenter is done. All the documentation, etc., are done. Okay, but we don't believe in that because like when you buy a car, they call it the after sales service. So our forte is that we also are fully involved in after sales service. By that I mean, if they have a problem with the bank, if they have a problem with State Bank, if they have a problem with the Karachi port or the Port bin Qasim, or if they have they have to, I mean, naturally they have to truck the goods, to Multan, Sargoda, Lahore, Islamabad, wherever. We try to help them because we have a lot of trucks on our panel. We don't own trucks, but we have a lot of trucks on our panel. So you can say technically from the soybean farm in Brazil or in America to their factory gate, we uh, get involved in the whole supply chain. And that is why we are different from others. So indenting, in short, is that company here that coordinates the sales and gets the seller and the buyer together. That is, in short, what indenting business is all about. Hello.
I think there was a connectivity issue, but nevertheless, can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, sir, you are a seasoned and experienced personnel, and you might have a family background as well. So, what is for the new people? How new people from scratch can enter in indenting business? And I have other
You see,
specific questions as well. But
yeah,
can you describe few ways, or person from scratch who don't have any capital? One of the challenge that Pakistani people and youngsters, um, majority of people have lacking resources.
let me
So, what
start.
are the ways, sir?
Well, let me start one way. You see, what has happened is, I'll give you an example of coal. In the time when my company introduced. Hello, I've lost you.
Oh, sorry for the interruption again.
Okay, uh, to answer your question,
So
let me
you,
give an let me give you an example of the coal business. Now, my company introduced imported coal into Pakistan many years ago, and we were probably the only one doing it, and then a couple of people other jumped in. And it's not something which is a very simple business. So when I remember when Nawaz Sharif became the prime minister, he talked about coal plants and he talked about coal and coal. So many people, what they did was they went online and found out who are the uh, uh, people dealing in coal in foreign countries, and they have a fantastic website, and they give all kind of lollipop that we are so big, and we have so much influence with the power plants and with the cement mills and this and that, and they just wanted to be part of the game. I call these guys Google jockeys. They are Google jockeys. They go on Google and find out, and they think that they've got it made. This is not the way it is. As I told you earlier, you have to have a very strong supply chain. You have to have very strong, very strong and influential marketing infrastructure. And now they are sitting in the home or in their office, and they just write to everyone. No, you cannot sell like that. This is not how indenting is. You may start off with something small, and but you need to have a knowledge of the local market, which is the first priority. Knowledge of the local market, knowledge of then the product, knowledge of the global dynamics of that particular product, and more importantly, then you have to have a base through which you can market your if you have become an indenter, you can market it to the preferred markets. Now, it's not so easy. Otherwise, every Tom, Dick, and Harry would become an indenter. And many, when they come in, then they fail. I have stories of big boys coming in, not understanding They have the money, they have the investment, but they do not understand the market, and they crashed. Like you said in your introduction, so many companies failed. That's not necessarily small companies. If you are unaware of the dynamics of that particular product, the chances are that you will not hit it right, and you may then you will see that your pocket is becoming thinner and there's less money. No, sir, this is not how you do it. It takes blood, sweat, and tears. You think that we just
mm,
came in and overnight we became a success in the product we were marketing. No, no. It takes, I'll tell you how to go about it. Now, at least we have an advantage. As I said, our forte is marketing. And not only marketing, it is how to cultivate relationships. Cultivating relationships is also a very important element
mm.
in your marketing. So
Yes.
we convince people, we convince them why you should have this product. And with the cement, we did that. We started off with 5,000 tons, and at one time we were selling 4 million tons. You see the difference between
Mm,
the figures, because
mm,
you have to convince the buyer why that buyer should take your product. Just sitting on your laptop and having a good website and trying to, I'll give you an example. There's a big company, they hired some young man, and he started selling coal on OLX क्या है आपका? On
mm.
OLX.
Olex.
You can't you can't sell these kind of products on Facebook and Twitter and OLX. And they said, okay, we go into social media. No, social media is for other items. It is not for uh, shipload worth of goods. So it became, that guy became a joke, because I mean he's trying to impress his bosses that he's marketing. And I said, market, that is not marketing. So we have that
Mm,
advantage, and I said earlier that we provide after sales service also. So that is how
mm,
you promote a product.
mm, mhm,
So if a young person is coming in, it's okay if that person can try with some consumer good or some service or some, and work his or her way uh, forward. Uh, of course, Rome was not built in a day. You have to start somewhere. But what is important is the approach. What kind of approach you are using to achieve your objective. You over that you can't, like that people who are these Google jockeys who go for canola and soybean. Uh, do you think it is easy for them to sell a ship load of soybean? Who would let me ask tell you? Say you are a solvent extractor. Would you buy from a Google jockey, or would you buy someone with whoever standing, who work with you, who who give you advice, you give guidance? We are not sellers. We don't just
mm,
come and sell, okay, you want to buy, and we think that we are happy. No. We tell them this is the right time to buy, this is the wrong time to buy. And they trust us because they know that we understand the future, the market, the trend, what is going to be the price. You see, greed is short term. You may think that you made money in and become more greedy. No, that is no. You have to have a foundation first. You can't have a house of cards. You have to have a foundation, and from that foundation you build up. Don't go for a one shot deal. Don't go for this. This is just one deal, and you may make a few $1,000 or whatever, but you don't create a niche for yourself. So I would advise whoever is listening and who will listen in the future, greed should be separate. Focus should be on what the product is or the service is meant to be. Do the research first before you jump in the swimming pool.
all right. Okay. Uh, Sir, for the viewers, I'm
Yeah,
repeating
you asked the question here also.
what
I
actually
can
we
read.
were.
Now, what resources required? Resources in an indenter requires a base, doesn't need too much money, uh, depends on the product or services that uh, they want to be indenters for, and plan whatever financial resources you have, because you may be if a buyer is in your city, you maybe have to go there, maybe take them out for dinner, give them some gifts or something, so that is your initial expenses. But you have to be on your toes full time to become a successful indenter. You can't be take it very easy, especially in the beginning.